Welcome back to Low Stress Math with Mrs. Bono. We are going to review practice organizing the real number system. This is what I asked you to do after we did the lesson. So, a little classwork, not too bad. Let's look at letter A, the number 7. The number 7 is a real number, and it's rational, and it's an integer. It's a whole number. But you know what? It's also a natural counting number. So I'm just going to put A7 in natural numbers. I know that it's also whole and an integer and rational. That's fine. All right, B is a fraction. But let's reduce this fraction to lowest terms and see what we get. Oh, we're supposed to do that? Yeah, it's okay. If you didn't, because I didn't tell you to. I wanted to see if anyone would pick it up on their own. So to put in a fraction, I'm going to press this n over d button, negative 36 on top, and 12 on the bottom. Hit enter. Oh, and it reduced it to negative 3. So negative 3 is an integer. So this whole fraction, b, negative 36 over 12, is going to go in the integer box, even though, if you put it in rational, that's fine because it's rational, but also slide it down into the integer box. All right, here we go. Negative square root of 36. That's another one I want to put in the calculator just to see what's happening there. So negative second x squared, and then the number 36 when you hit enter, negative 6. So look at that, negative 6. And negative 6 is also an integer. So C, the negative square root of 36, goes in the integer box. Again, if you put it in rational, that's okay. How about pi? Pi is not rational. How about that? That's a terminating decimal. That means it ends. Terminating decimals are rational. If I put it into the calculator, it will turn into a fraction. 6 and 48 hundredths, double arrow, enter, that turns into a fraction. When it's a fraction, it's rational. Fractional, rational. That makes sense. Well, let's put that letter E, 6 and 48 hundredths, in the rational box. Negative 2, that's an integer. So letter F, negative 2 is an integer. Negative square root of 10, let's put that in here too. Let's clear it up a little bit. And negative second x squared, 10, and you get, oh, it didn't change. When it doesn't change, it's not rational. So that didn't change, it's not rational. It goes over here, letter G, the negative square root of 10. All right, 2 and 1/6, that is a mixed number. Mixed numbers are rational. So I'm going to put that here, I, 2 and 1/6. Oh, look, it's hard to see, but it's there. It's a negative repeating 7/10. So if I put that in here, negative 0, and as many 7s as I can put on here, it's going to turn it into the fraction 7/9. Fractions are rational, even if they're negative, so repeating decimals are rational. J, negative 7/10 with the repeater bar over the 7. It's kind of important. Ooh, that is ugly. But let's put it in the calculator and see if it comes a little prettier. Let's try that. Letter K is second x squared, and then I'm going to put a fraction, 4 over 81. 4 and 81 are perfect squares. We'll talk more about those, don't worry. Oh, and both of them have turned into numbers. So the square root of 481s, I don't know how to say that, is 2/9. So that is rational. So letter K, that crazy fraction, square root 4 over 81, that turns into a rational number. So most of the numbers were rational. There were 2 that were irrational. And, oh, I didn't put the letter H with the number 0. Sorry about that. Okay, which expression does not name an integer? Well, negative 15, that's an integer. 0 is an integer. And both of these are written as fractions. But if we reduce them to lowest terms, this is 3/7, and this is 2. 2 is an integer. 3/7 is not. So, not B. Which expression represents an irrational number? Well, if it repeats, it's rational, and fractional irrational. And, I don't know what this is, but I'll get back to it. Oh, and I don't know that either, darn it. Okay, let's put B into the calculator first. And that is the square root of 75, which I think is 3, it's 5 the square root of 3. See, if it still has that square root sign, it's not gonna work out. So that's no good. That is an irrational number. Now let's look at this one, because it might have 2 irrational numbers. We don't know, we haven't done this before. So square root of 3 minus, oh, look what I did. Look at that, that's no good. I have to get off of the square root sign before I subtract another square root. Be careful. That's what you want it to look like. I want to show you what happens if I don't get off of the square root. I think it still works, but only for some. So let's see, 3 minus 3. It did work. Okay, we're good. But here we go. That was the irrational one. Which one is not a whole number? Well, I know that 18 divided by 3 is 6. And whole numbers are not negative, so can't be that. Hey, that's kind of weird. They're all B's because I was going to grade this. No. Which of the following is a true statement? Negative 9 is a whole number. That's not true. Negative 9 is an integer. 0 is a natural number. No, it's not natural to count from 0. No. Square root of 25 is irrational. No, it's not. The square root of 25 is 5. 2/3 is a rational number. Well, that's true. It's a fraction, and fractions are rational. Which of the following statements is false? All real numbers are rational numbers. No, that's not true at all. That's false. Because some real numbers are irrational. All of these are real. Some are irrational and some are rational. So not all real numbers are rational. That is a false statement. Every integer is a rational number. That's true. All natural numbers are integers. That's true too. Every whole number is a real number. That's true. Given an example of a number that is a whole number but not a natural number. The only whole number that's not natural is 0. Give an example of a real number that's not rational. A real number. The whole box is real numbers. I usually pick pi. But if you did the square root of 10, that's fine. What was it, negative 10? Give an example of a rational number that's not an integer. A rational number that would be a fraction. How about 1/2? That's a good one. Okay, on to the next page. Oh no, independent practice. Well, let's talk about this. Look what it has on here. It has a QR code. So what we're going to do is we're going to scan the QR code and we're going to base our answers on the QR code. How does that work? We're going to go over that right now. So here is my phone, which I love to use my phone when I'm doing math. And look, the QR code says youtube.com. That's where we're going. All right. Turn it sideways. And it's going to go through the universe of real numbers. That's where the answers are. So that's your job.